Hi everyone. My topic today is the learning in the age of AI, how we developers can grow when machines learn. Shortly about myself, my name is Timo and I work here at Siili Solutions as a director for people and learning. I'm also I'm responsible basically for competence development and leading also our people partner team, which means that I'm quite close to everyday HR operations, so kind of the people side of tech. I'm also trained coach through Neuro Leadership Institute, and I also do coaching independently through my own company called koodaa. Earlier, I have worked with Deloitte, Vincit, and VTT, always somewhere between people, learning, and technology. So what should I learn? This is a question that seems to be many people's minds right now. Especially it's a question for those who already have at least some vague idea of what AI can do. What I will argue that the question becomes not just what, but how to learn when the ground is kind of shifting under our feet. In this slide, you can see a concrete example of how AI is already changing the stack of a full stack developer. The slide looks kind of busy, but that's kind of my point. The range of technical competence, certifications, among other areas, just keeps expanding. On the brighter side, it seems currently that 70% of what full stack developers currently do is still handled with existing skills. Kind of the traditional full stack work that we used to do and we know. But the landscape is clearly changing. The shift isn't necessarily means that about losing old skills, but about layering new ways of thinking, prompting and reasoning on top of them. At Siili, we've been working on this AI shift company-wide for past 2 years, and we have established kind of this 3-layered approach to competence development. We connect knowledge to skills, and then knowledge skills to practice, meaning real client projects. All Siilis have been trained in basics, ethics, and code of conduct in AI. About 70% of our consultants have been also trained more deeply in prompting, large language models, retrieval, augmented generation, and AI assistant design. Currently, we run over 1,000 AI-assisted tasks daily using 12 licensed AI tools. And around 50% of our project revenue already involves AI assistant development or implementing AI-based solutions. For this figure, I have to say that client requirements are currently still a bit hindering the usage of AI. So many us at Siili are working with clients that they cannot fulfill their AI potential with those ones. But nevertheless, it will increase. And yet, many people here also at Siili still feel hesitant, kind of unsure what to do next or how to move forward. And that's completely normal. None of us fully knows where this AI thing is heading. Maybe with that question that what should I learn, what we are looking for isn't just an answer, but a relief from a feeling of that sense of uncertainty, disorientation, even unease. At the moment, it might take too much courage to keep learning when no one has the map. When we don't have clear answers, making decisions like what to learn next can be really difficult. But perhaps there are no right or wrong answers or decisions here. I could argue that there are no right or wrong decisions in life in general, but for this presentation I will leave the life a bit aside. Here is a quote that I really like from a psychology Harvard professor, Ellen J. Langer. Ellen J. Langer is also the kind of the mother of mindfulness. Nevertheless, she has said that don't try to make the right decision, make the decision right. In other words, The quality of a decision might not come from picking perfectly, but from what we do afterwards. The choices, the learning, the effort we invest in making that decision right for us. Learning may be more challenging and more essential than ever before. Not because the technology moves too fast, but because learning itself is changing, or the understanding of learning is changing. The old model, where we took a course, we practiced it, applied it, and moved on, doesn't really fit anymore in a world where information updates in real time and AI generates knowledge more faster than we can ever process it. So today, learning can happen in different ways, but I would argue that learning happens still currently with AI. AI can shorten the kind of the learn, try, fail, try again cycle. AI is really good in providing knowledge, having a conversation, coaching, but also in emotional empathy and these kind of responses. But learning happens also in projects while we work with others, in client interactions when we problem solve for others, and when we exchange perspectives. And the most important thing, in moments that we pause and reflect. Formal training has still a place. It can gently nudge us into new directions. But learning only becomes real when we return to it, when we apply it, question it, and evolve it within our own context. AI can guide, summarize, and filter information, but it cannot learn for us. Still today, most solutions are done for people and with people, meaning that the most meaningful work still happens for people and with people. Trust is built between humans through dialogue, shared context, emotion, and curiosity. And this is an area where AI struggles and has a lot to learn still. Learning in itself is inherently vulnerable. It starts with admitting I don't know this yet. The single word yet changes this sentence, but it also changes the thinking it transforms from limitations into a possibility. In the AI area, vulnerability becomes even more valuable. It might be even that openness might be one of our greatest strengths. And why is that? We'll face new tools, new languages, new ways of thinking constantly. The challenge isn't anymore about mastering them all, but creating spaces where it's safe to explore, ask, and fail. Hence, I will try to encourage everyone to look for environments where questions are genuinely welcomed, mistakes are seen as learning signals, and success is shared collectively. Those are the conditions where the real growth compounds. AI can automate answers, but only you can cultivate curiosity, courage, and connection. Many of us like to think that we are, for example, visual learners, or that we learn best by doing or reading. But neuroscience might suggest something more nuanced on this one. Learning isn't about collecting or storing knowledge. It's about strengthening our neural pathways, which we already have, through use and reflection. There's a saying that neurons that fire together wire together. So we don't erase those old connections, but we build new connections that compete and eventually take over. If you want then to learn something new, the best way to start with is to pick one small action. Almost anything will do, even randomly choose, and start. The research on this topic shows that the real learning happens when you focus deeply on the subject. During this time, you minimize distractions, you give attention room to breathe. Test yourself. Testing strengthens memory. In a study which was done with university students, it was found out that those students that took more tests and exams had learned better than those that had taken only one. With AI, so basically AI can help you to simulate this by quizzing, debugging, or summarizing. Spacing and returning to a topic beats accumulating knowledge at once. Coming back to the subject has been found more crucial than just taking, for example, notes or reading. Note-taking is really important, but coming back to those notes, while coming back to those notes, you strengthen the neural pathways and you start to remember, etc. Then the most curious thing about the research done with learning is that if you have a slightly positive emotional tone for the subject or for the learning, this positive tone has been found increasing memory and learning. So if we contrast this to it, for example, if you have a negative feeling towards a subject, it might be that your learning is a bit more hindered. But try to keep a positive emotional state when learning. And I think perhaps the most important, rest well. Sleep generates what you've learned. Just as muscles grow during rest, our brains need pauses on what we have learned. In a world obsessed with efficiency, it's worth remembering that your brain learns slower than algorithms. And that's a feature, not a flaw. In the age of AI, your next phase of growth might not mean another course or certification, although they are important as well if we ask from an employer, for example. It could mean designing your own way of learning, a rhythm that fits your life, your values, your work. For example, you might start by making AI tools part of your everyday experimentation. Choose one to start with. Building your own shared vocabulary and a note-taking method. And turning everyday discussions into micro-learning moments. Try to also to find time for reflection, not just reaction. And remember that we all learn in a different pace. Diversity in rhythm makes the collective learning stronger. To wrap up, I'd like to leave you with this thought, that those who learn how to learn won't just stay relevant. They might redefine what human growth means in the age of intelligent machines. Thank you.